Hi. So what is healing? Our bodies don't heal the way that we were taught. The biochemical model is incorrect. Today we know that we heal through energy, frequency, and vibration. Our brains also don't work the way we were taught. Our brain is actually a transducer, receiving and translating information from the field. So healing is a change in our state of consciousness. We might be experiencing stress. We might be unhappy with our job or career. We might have financial problems, relationship issues. We might feel depressed. We might have hit a block where we feel we just can't go forward. And we might also just be confused about what are we supposed to be doing in life. Think I've probably had all of those at some time, and you might have too. But all of that means we often then end up with physical ailments or disease. That, in my experience, usually comes last to show us something's not quite right. We are out of balance and we are disconnected from ourself, from our spirit, from God's source, love. And we need to get back into that balance. And getting back into that balance means moving up to a higher level. My name's Jara. I have been doing reconnective healing now for 20 years, and I would like to share just a little bit about it and explain more of how this works. So I'm not here to prove anything to you, and I'm also not medically trained. So I do not diagnose and I cannot make any promises or guarantees. However, I've had quite a lot of experience with this over the last 20 years, traveling to many countries around the world with the Reconnective Healing teaching team. I'm a practitioner based in Sydney, Australia now. So reconnective healing is something that we believe enables us to access a new bandwidth of frequencies. Something has shifted. There's nothing new in the universe, but we're going through a shift. We are going through an evolutionary change, and I think everyone is aware of that now, that everything is changing and it must change. We can't stop that. But because of that change, we are vibrating at a different level, and that healing is now available to us. Not everyone is aware of that yet, but in the coming years, I'm sure that more and more people are going to realize what they've been doing on its own is not working. We need a little bit more support. And that's what we can offer you with reconnective healing. Sometimes people ask me, well, I'm going in, say, for surgery. Can reconnective healing help? And when should I have it? And my recommendation is before your surgery. During your surgery, yes, can do that by distance, and after. And that enables you to have the best possible outcome. Other times, some of the healings that can happen can be simply like I've had one client who had insomnia all of his life. He said his mother did too. And after one session of reconnective healing, he had 8 hours sleep for the first time in his life. Another client had read the book The Reconnection by Dr. Eric Pearl 10 years previously and had had a session, and her husband had had a session. He had a healing, but she didn't. So they came to see me again, and when she arrived, she had a migraine and didn't think she could do the session, but eventually she had to get up, to my apartment where I was working from, and she came and had the session, came back the next day, jumping up and down, saying she had not slept all night, but she'd gone through and forgiven everyone in her life for all the problems she'd been through, which sounds like she'd been through quite a lot. And she just felt free from it all and had the hugest healing. But it did take her that time. It was the right place, right time. So that sometimes can be it. But generally, the healings are pretty immediate that happen. So reconnective healing, we say we're working with energy, light, and information. Our bodies are energy. We are energy beings, and we vibrate at a certain level. When we receive from reconnective healing, we allow more light in, and information is carried on that light. So information is what keeps our body doing all the things that it does for us to be human beings. There is a really good movie, The Living Matrix, that explains, something you would find that interesting, good to look up, The Living Matrix, that explains a bit more of it. There are also lots of videos and so on you can look up. But what it does, what reconnective healing can do, is bring balance in physical, mental, emotional, spiritual levels, and help you to move on to the next step that is coming up for you. Sometimes we talk about energy healing for convenience because it is similar to that. However, there are major differences. So one is, with energy healing, the practitioner would be a channel for energy. It would go, say, through me to you. And so it's affected by me to start with, and then to you, and you might get a healing and feel good, and I might feel a little bit drained. With reconnective healing, we work the opposite way. We are a catalyst for the healing. So I might be vibrating at this level here. You might be at this level. You simply move up to that level and start to vibrate at a higher level than what you were before, without it depending on me. So there's training you can learn to do that. And once you've done the training, we have found that everyone can do this if you want to. So lifting up to that higher level means disease, problems, things you don't want in your life can simply disappear. We also have another service that we do offer called the Reconnection. The Reconnection is more aimed about your life path and your evolution. So it can help. It's like, what I say often is that it's like we're born with a plan, with a path, with something that we've come to learn, not necessarily a way to do it. Like we haven't come here to be something or someone. We've come to learn a lesson about ourselves, and we sort of forget that. We come in, and then next thing we're off track, going in all different directions. What the reconnection can seem to do is put us back onto our true path, and also to help accelerate it. So the reconnection, you have that once in a lifetime. Once you've had the reconnection, which is facilitated in 2 sessions, that's all you need. But we do recommend 1, 2, or 3 sessions of the healing first to make sure that you're ready for it. It's like a preparation in a way. And the reconnective healing, you can also have any time that you feel you need assistance with anything, absolutely anything. We've done lots of research into reconnective healing. I was very lucky to be part of some of it when I lived in America, or was based there, traveling a fair bit, when we had scientists coming in to do research. And we do have a book on the research called Science Confirms Reconnective Healing. It's not a very good read because it is the science papers. But there is a book with all of this in it. There's also an online course offered by the Reconnection called The Portal. And that is where you learn to do healing just for yourself, not as a professional practitioner, but for yourself. There are a lot of references to the science in that. You can go to my website, which is juliejara.com. So Julie, Julie, Jara.com. Under Reconnective Healing, Learn Reconnective Healing, I have a link to the portal that you can purchase for a 15% discount from the Reconnection, if you're interested in that. Back to the science though. One of the team that I was part of was Dr. Bill Tiller. He was seen in the movie What the Bleep, And he did testing in the rooms while we were there. He had a machine, what's it called? A unique subtle energy detector. And it was very annoying because while the seminars were on, it was going beep, 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 beep. What it was doing was measuring the thermodynamic free energy in the room. What Bill Tiller found is that the energy in the room went up before we started the seminar. It went way up during the seminar, and it stayed there for about a week afterwards. Now, if this was measured in temperature, it's not, but if it was, it went up by about 300 degrees centigrade. So the energy in the room went up to such a high level that is never been seen before. And we could all feel it. It's like when you are in the seminar rooms, you can feel that the energy is really at a high level, and we don't do anything to make that happen. It seems to happen. It seems to have an intelligence behind it. Another one of the signs was a leaf study where they picked two leaves off the same plant, equal size, and one of them they put aside as a control. The other they did a bit of reconnective healing with. They found that the control died after a certain time, a natural way that a leaf taken from its plant would, but the control kept alive and fresh, and even in some circumstances it grew roots when it normally would not, and it stayed alive for a lot longer. Now that's particularly interesting. I've done that experiment myself. I've got on my blog pictures of leaves I've done that too, and I've also told other people about it, and they've tried it to see the difference between a leaf with reconnective healing and without. And that is kind of like, wow, that you really see that there's a big difference there in it. I'm just thinking of another healing story. The when I first learnt this healing, I already had a client list because I'd already been doing personal development work before. So quickly I started to see clients, and a lady came for a healing, and she was a nurse and she had arthritis in her hands, and her hands were really sort of like this, she couldn't bend them properly. I did the healing and her hands just opened, just straight, and she started crying and said, "Oh my God, my hands are healed." That was my first client. I think I was very lucky that something like that was so visible that I could see, and I thought, wow, I know it's not me doing it. There's something that's allowing this healing to come through. And I was shown that, yes, this is something that is very, very real. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes there might be things you need to change in your life. You might need to change your diet. You might need a job that gives you more satisfaction, so you're happy. You might need more sleep. There are so many things, and what it can do also is lead you to that understanding of what you need to do. So you don't need to go necessarily through the years of therapy and trying to find it. Sometimes you'll just know. Other times it might lead you to the therapy you need. So, it is, just find it interesting. It's so different for everyone as to what you might need. It's very easy to do reconnective healing and to learn it, and also to have a session pain-free. Okay, if you come into the clinic for a session, you relax on a massage table for 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute session, and afterwards I ask you, what was your experience? And it's usually very pleasant, sometimes amazing, that people have, see colors, feel tingling vibrations, different things. Other people say, well, not that much happened, and that's fine, but they feel good, and then the healing can unfold over the next couple of days. We also can do it by distance, so that works amazingly well, especially, you know, if you can't travel or aren't near me, you can have a distance session. We work, you know, we make a time. I call you usually just to make sure we've got the timing right between different areas and different countries. We can do it anywhere in the world. And then you lay down and relax for the 30 minutes. And then I'll ask you afterwards, I'll give you a call and say, what did you experience? Just as a regrouping as to what actually did go on, which can be helpful because sometimes we don't always think about what did go on. Most people will have some experience, very often healings, and it continues to unfold this way. So if you want to know more, I have actually got a blog on my website with lots of healing stories, some videos with more information. There's also a lot available on the website. There is a website, the reconnectiveacademy.com, where you can find out what training is happening around the world. It does run in Sydney. We had one on recently, and we're looking at having another one on coming up. So there are seminars where you can learn to do this. And if you want to know more about any of it, feel free to ask me, send me an email or give me a call. My website again is juliejara.com. And the reconnectiveacademy.com is where you find all the seminars worldwide, or the reconnection.com is where Eric Pearl is, and he is the founder of Reconnective Healing and all of the other information that is available to you. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk. I also do live talks, and if you get a chance to come to a live talk, you can get to see, we do a demonstration on the massage table. So if you can come to one of mine or anyone's worldwide, wherever you are, I really recommend doing that to find out more about it. Thank you.